Hi, I'm Kyle Ford. Put on Chop Festival, which is a 3-day hot rod rock and roll motorcycle festival. Nice big hybrid of good things coming together.
Beautiful, mate. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, pleasure.
As you mentioned, mate, the annual Chop Festival is on this weekend over December 2nd, 3rd and 4th at Carisbrook in Victoria, featuring live music, motorcycles and hot rods, like you say. So sounds like a pretty exciting mix.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild mix. It's good fun, you know. It's kind of nice the way it sort of brings those sort of three groups together, you know. Get a few people that sort of just have a little bit of interest into those other parts, and it sort of, you know, expands their horizons a little bit. There's always something eye-opening that you haven't sort of seen or heard of before, so it's pretty good on that note.
And before we get into things, mate, like you're listed as a director of Chopped, so what does that role entail?
It entails pretty much pulling together the whole thing, you know, like all the way from booking the bands and sort of lining up venues and just volunteers, people, pulling together a good solid crew, you know, and within that sort of already have connections through into the motorcycle world and the car world from my background and my upbringing and that. So being well connected and that sort of thing, essentially, you know, we can pull together what is something quite different because there's nothing else that sort of comes together with all these elements.
Oh, very cool, mate. So I understand what you're saying about like your background and stuff like that. So I think we should just probably clear something up here because there's a lot of people listen to these sort of things and see things happening with motorcycle shows associated with them, but it's nothing to do with an outlaw motorcycle club, is it? It's just motorbikes.
No, not at all. Yeah. No, there's none of that sort of stuff here. It's traditional style, you know, bobber and chopper motorcycles on the motorcycle front, and most of those people, like, they're just, you know, you and me.
Yeah, very cool. I understand all that completely, mate, and it wouldn't worry me either way, but I do know that there's people out there, as soon as they hear the word motorcycle, they start freaking out and expect they're going to get shot, so it's better to clear it up straight away.
Yeah, there's a whole fresh generation that's sort of coming through and just doing their own thing without it being a club type factor of that sort of sense.
Yeah, very cool. So I'm not sure which one captures me the most, mate, the music or the motorbike. So we'll start with music. Like, you've got over 20 bands playing over the 3 days, including Amyl The Sniffers, C.O.F.F.I.N, Smoke Witch, Grindhouse and more. So how important is the musical side of Chopped?
Oh, it's massive. Music side's really developed over the years with what we do. And so essentially, you know, the music on its own is a music festival, which we incorporated in, sort of just takes it to something else. Like during the day, you know, we have our drags, our shows and all that sort of thing. But at night time, it really turns into the music factor. You know, we have a big stage set up and a giant entertaining area, a big tiki bar and all that sort of thing. And it's a good place to, you know, get a little loose at the end of the day.
Yeah, cool. So what time every day does the music start and finish?
Well, music starts, like we have a couple of stages. We have the Wolfman's truck, which drives around through the event, through the camping areas and stuff like that with a band on the back, where a bunch of the bands just sort of keep a good vibe going all day. And then at 3 o'clock, the main stage takes over and everyone sort of starts pumping through there. And last bands go on each night at 10 p.m.
Very good. And I've got to say, mate, before we go any further, how good of a band name is Amyl The Sniffers? Like, probably the best band name I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, they nailed it with that name, didn't they? You know,
yeah.
They got my attention back in 2016, back when they were starting out.
Well, yeah, well, there you go. It's just done the side effect straight away.
Yeah, totally.
It's a pretty good mix of bands too. Like, you got the hard rock ones there. You got like sort of a bit of punky stuff and common. You got a bit of everything there, mate. So you're trying to cover all sorts of genres.
Yeah, we cover off a few different genres and that sort of thing. Like, it's nice to not just be sort of, you know, slapped in the face with the same thing all the way through. Yeah. You know, spreading it out a little bit is always good.
For sure. So then you've got the indoor chopper motorcycle show, mate. So tell us about that.
Yeah, this is the first year that we've done that, which is pretty awesome. So we've got 28 bikes from all over Australia. Wow. Guy called Mitch Bailey has sort of choreographed that for us. He's an incredible bike painter, and so it's his little vision on that one. And so, yeah, it's going to look incredible with them all lined up in there. Nice, still, quiet show. Just, you know, no bells and whistles. Pretty low key, but you know, let the bikes speak for themselves.
Yeah, very good. And are the bikes all choppers, or do they have to be choppers, or can they just be standard bikes going it?
Oh, they're all custom bikes, sort of more of a traditional sort of 1960s, 1970s style. But there'll be a mix of English and Japanese and American bikes all through there.
Yeah, very good. And then if that doesn't whet your appetite, you've got drag racing too.
Yeah, so in the mornings, the road closed out the front of the property here. So in the mornings we have asphalt sprints out there where, the guys tend to get a little bit excited, and it tends to become a bit more of a smoke show out there sometimes, depending who's behind the wheel, which is always good. Keeps the crowds entertained. Most people do enjoy a bit of that.
Yes.
And then we switch over into the middle of the oval, and we have dirt drag racing there, which has sort of been a core element of our events for quite a few years now, and it's quite a spectacle and a highlight. It can get a bit dusty and all that sort of thing, but the crowd loves that.
And when you say over a few years, mate, like this is actually the 11th year of Chopped. So what are some of the highlights for you from over the years?
Look, we've had some incredible bands over the years. A bunch of my favourites, Cosmic Psychos, Chats were here last time. That's always a big thing for me. The music is one of my favourite elements, but like the dirt drags themselves is probably that's the biggest spectacle of this event. That sort of it's got international sort of credit, I guess I could say. That's kind of the highlight of it. Back when we started doing it, we were sort of one of the first mobs doing that sort of thing, and it's definitely the bit that you really don't want to miss out on.
And that's probably one of the best parts about being a director, mate, is that when you're booking the bands, you can generally book the ones that you want to see.
Well, one thing with this event is that we've always had is to put on the event that you want to go to yourself. Yeah. Like that's the driving force behind it. So the music stuff that we're into, the cars are what we're into, the bikes are what we're into, and nobody else is doing a show that we want to go to. So a while ago we stood up and started doing it ourselves, and we don't get to go to it in the element that I'd probably like to, but I still have a lot of fun. Yeah. That's for sure.
It's actually a bit of a catch-22, that situation, because like I say, it's a great position to be in because you can book bands that you like, but you've also got to be careful not to just book bands that you like, sort of thing. Like it's a bit of a fine line, isn't it?
It's also pretty good having a broad taste of music. There's a lot of genres of music and different bands that I'm into that I don't play at the event, but it does take a lot of choreographing to get it right and get that flow right throughout the day. And choosing the right bands, we're pretty strong on supporting Australian bands. We've got a full Australian lineup this year, which is quite awesome. And we support the little guys through to the big guys. And some of these bands, we played 6 years ago, and now they're our headliners and things like that. Back when they were just coming up. So it's been nice to be able to watch some of these bands grow through our event and other events as well on their path too.
Yeah. And the event's held over 3 days, like we say, from December 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So is there camping available, or do people have to commute every day?
No. It's, we've got a couple of big campgrounds here. So you have a good, I'd say a good portion of people camp. They'll start queuing up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and gates open at 9. And bunk them all in, that sort of thing. And we still get a lot of day trippers as well, which is good. And, Saturday this year is going to be massive because Amyl and the Sniffers are on, so we expect the day crowds to be quite big on that one. But yeah, you're welcome to still rock up at the gate and get a camping spot, or just in and out the same day as well.
Very cool. And where can people buy tickets or get more info, bro?
Currently, you can get it at Chopped, so www.chopped.com.au. That's our website. And our tickets, there's a link on there to the tickets, and that's got all the information you're going to need on there as well. Addresses, prices, all that sort of thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Carl. Well, thanks very much for your time today, mate. Sounds like a great weekend. If I'd have known about it with more than 3 days' notice, I'd probably be there. But there's always next year.
There's always next year, mate. That's true. Sure. But, make the trip if you can.
Oh yeah, I've got good things on this weekend. I'm doing backstage interviews at that, so I'll sort of.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'd love to come there though. Trust me, I'll be chucking in the diary for next year.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Well, thanks for your time and enjoy your weekend. I know it's hard when you're working, but enjoy it best you can. And catch up soon.
Will do. Thanks for making time for it.